All right, Ms. Hoffbauer, thank you for choosing to let me interview you.
Sure.
I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions about like voting and like where you like position yourself on the political spectrum.
Okay.
Would you consider yourself on the left, right, or somewhere in the middle on the political spectrum, and why?
I would put myself very much in the middle. I'm a moderate. I have never voted single party ticket, and I believe in looking at candidates for the things that they stand for and what I think they'll actually do.
Vanessa Pazienza to the office, please. Vanessa Pazienza to the
All
office.
right. What issues in today's society mean the most to you, and how does that affect your voting?
Really, it's really interesting because some of the things that meant a lot to me when I was turned 18, the environment and education still mean a lot to me at 45. Other things that kind of mean a lot to me is especially after teaching economics now for a number of years, our global economy and our interconnectedness with other countries, how we treat other countries. Our military is not only our spending, which freaks people out, but making sure that we take care of our military personnel, because to me, everybody is not suited to take up arms and protect this country and protect my rights and my freedoms. And so I'm really grateful for those that do. So I think I look at more categories now than I did when I was a younger voter. And I don't limit myself just to certain platforms.
All right. Do you think that voting third party is a wasted vote at all?
I hope not, because I sure would like to see us have more than a two-party system. I think the stall that has happened in our government is because we are a two-party system. And until that third party or fourth party or fifth party, until we really have options, we will continue to have stalemates at multiple levels. When we can't have our politicians that are elected by populists negotiate and compromise, when we've lost compromise, we've lost a chance to really have a country that's best for everybody.
All right. Two more questions.
Okay.
Do you believe that the third party are not being treated equally when it comes to stuff like in like debates and everything, and like getting advertisement time?
Oh, sure. And that's because there's no money behind them. Like the Green Party and the Libertarian Party and every other party that's out there that really is in essence a third party has so few dollars behind them in comparison to starch Republicans or starch Democrats who have big pockets. And that is part of the system. I would love to fix this. If I were to be elected president, I would limit the amount of campaign spending that you can have, whether it's, and take all that excessive amount. If you go, okay, well, we're not going to tell you what the limit is, so raise as much as you want, and then cap it at $2 million. You cannot spend more than $2 million on anything, and no one can give you stuff in replacement of that, because that's just really finding the loophole. And then take all the other millions to billions of dollars that are raised and say, okay, now we're going to pay off some national debt, so we owe other countries less money, or we're less indebted to them. So I think if you put a cap on spending and it was a legit cap without the loopholes, which they will never do, I think you would have third and fourth parties that are legitly competitive.
All right. And when you voted for the first time, who are you voting for as like the presidents? What was the process like when you voted? And if you remember, how educated did you feel when you voted?
Well, we'll start with the educated part. I felt excuse me, I felt brilliant at the time that I first voted. I was probably the smartest person in the universe, as it turns out. I don't think that's actually the case, but at the time I felt that way. I'm not sure. I would have to look at like how old I was in what election. So let's see, 92. 92 would have been my first election. And I think that would have been for George Senior Bush, right? Something like that. And I don't think I voted for him, but that doesn't tell you who I voted for because I don't remember. I do know I passed out one time in the voting polls for presidency, and I believe it was Clinton versus Dukakis, but I could be wrong on that. And what was the first part of the question? Because I don't remember that.
Who were you voting, or what were you voting for? Like,
I would definitely say at that time it was environment and education. Those are the two things I thought it was important that we didn't hurt education and that we continue to spend money for education, especially since it's a mandatory thing that we provide and other countries don't, as far as mandatory. And that I really thought it was important that we left a country behind, a world behind, that was for future generations, that we didn't just use up all our resources and go, it's good for me. Sorry, it can't be for future.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hoffbauer,
You
so
bet.
much.
Have a great day.
You too.